Saps, I said, okay. So he told. I didn't hear nothing else. So I show up. I show up 3 a.m. in the morning. We meet one another in the parking lot. She, I'm telling y'all a story that's in my book, but this is very important, relevant to what's going on. Talking about, when you are in charge and you know who you are and how you run things. But this captain didn't know me. She was new to my unit. I've been there. She knew. So I'm walking in and she's telling me, Son Daniels, you didn't do what I asked you to do, and you didn't come back when I told you to come back and everything. And I said, ma'am, I handled what I said I was going to do, and what's been done has been done. Have you even looked at what I did? She gonna say, no. I said, oh, so you ain't even seen what I've done. Okay, you wanted me to come back. So I said, man, what is going on here? I said, what's going on? I said, if you ain't even seen what I've done, how you can chastise that I've done something that you ain't even looked at? And she looked at me. I said, so, well, I said, when you look at it, then you can get back. Well, that's not, I said, ma'am, when you look at it, you get back with me. And she said, I'm giving you a direct order that I want you to. And at this point, I saw she was taking some liberty and going somewhere. And so I looked at her, I said, ma'am, I'm not about to do it. And she said, what you said, sir? I said, I'm telling you right now, it ain't happening. If you ain't even looked at what I told you to look at and evaluate, how you going to pass this judgment and try to judge me? And she relieved me on the spot. And I relieve you of your duty and everything like that. I said, well, ma'am, it is what it is. Now, the reason why I'm telling this story, if you're not comforted, if you're not confident in you, if you don't know how to stand, and if you don't know who you are, okay, and you can't peep the game, I peeped that she was out of order, or she was out of order, and you wasn't about to talk to me like I'm some little private. I'm an E7, got 20 plus years in the United States Army. You ain't coming in here talking to me that kind of way, and that's how she was trying to handle me. And so I left. I said, hey, I'll leave you to it. I'm gone. I get a phone call from the command sergeant major brother, Sergeant Major Jefferson, says, Sahad, you up for you. This captain done brought an Article 15 on you, man. She looking to try. She said you disobeyed a lawful order of a superior officer appointed over and everything. He said, "We tell you." I told him the whole story. He said, "Oh shoot." He knew me. He said, "Oh man, I got you. Don't worry about it." So 6 months passed. Okay, while the 9/11 is going on, I'm brought up on charges. Okay, I had to stand in front of the full bird. I want you to understand something. All right, in the military, this full bird was a full bird uh, general promotable. Okay, so this full bird, whatever this full bird say in this hearing, it's law. I mean, it's just you might have just it is what it is. Okay, you can make an appeal, but whatever this full bird general promotable say, it's going down. Okay, the good thing is that, and I'm gonna tell you, it's in my book, so I'm giving you a prep. I had to report to the colonel, and I report to the colonel. So I report, Sergeant Daniel, report. And I said, this is Sergeant First Class, me, Sean T. Daniel, reporting to the board. And the colonel said, why are you standing here before me, Sergeant Daniels? And I said, I'm standing here before you, sir, for disobeying a lawful order of a superior officer standing over me. And then I said in my book, the colonel said, sit your ass down, Sergeant Daniels. He said, Sergeant Dan, let me tell you something, man. This is the colonel, white man. He said, Sergeant Dan, I know you. But you know what, Sergeant Danny? Your professionalism has preceded you. All I have been getting is senior non-commissioned officers and officers are saying, if Sergeant Daniels told that captain no, we need to evaluate what's wrong with that captain. Come to find out, they investigated, this captain came from another unit. And when it came to people like brothers or black people, she always had this attitude. She had already a history of mistreating black males, black people, but specifically men. And one of the reasons she had come to the unit, they had gotten rid of her. So she came to our unit. We didn't know who she was. Okay, she didn't know, but she didn't know who I was and didn't know that I had rep. I had credibility. Everybody knew who I was. So when she did what she did, and I revoked, she thought she was just about to get another brother in trouble. Mm-hmm. Just that was her thinking. When the colonel said, and she was in the room too, saw Danny when we done the investigation and seeing everything that's going on. I have to reprimand her. And he looked at her, and I'm reprimanding you, Captain Johnson. I mean Captain Jones, because Sergeant First Class Daniels is a 20-year veteran in the military, and you only got 10 years in. Obviously, you don't understand when you got a senior non-commissioned officer under your command. You don't know how to operate with them, and what you're not going to do is disrespect any of my. Y'all don't, and I get emotional about this because my wife prior to this, I had made E7. I was getting ready. I had a year to retire. My wife, when you got a wife, I'm being brought up on charges and everything. My wife, yeah, when you're married, my wife, I'm about to lose. I'm about to get, she's getting the report that I'm getting busted, and that's the feedback that we getting and everything, that I'm about to get in trouble. So I'm a little like concerned about how this really about to go down and everything. But when I heard that colonel reprimand her and went in her shit, let me tell y'all something. I will never forget 9/11. I retired after that. The colonel looked at it and reprimanded her and told her, "You will not disrespect none of my senior non-commissioned officers in here, and I don't care where you come from and what you do. I know Sergeant Daniels, and he told you no. I understand why." Then he looked back into me. He said, "Now, Sergeant Daniels, I don't know if y'all picked up. When I reported, here's what I didn't say. Sergeant Daniels, what happened to you? This white woman, she disrespected me, and and she was trying to make me do. Nah, I knew the law. I knew the system. I said, I'm standing here before you because I disobeyed the lawful order of a senior non-commissioned officer over me. Let me tell you, when I met this colonel 7 years later, it's 10 years later, and I asked him this question, "Sir, if I would have responded differently than what I responded, what would have happened to me?" He said, "I would have light your ass up." Do anybody catch that? He said, "I would have lit you up." Why? Because I bitch and common and whine about something, not understand that I was walking in my authority and I knew the law. When the colonel recognized, I understood, I knew my position, my status, and I knew what I had done. I knew what I had done, okay? I wasn't whining and crying about it. I knew what I did. But I knew that captain was disrespecting me, and I wasn't going to let her get away with it. And the fact that that colonel said to me, "Son Daniels, the fact that you knew that she disrespected you, but if you would have came in there whining and crying about what she had done, what this," I said, "So Colonel, was it two? Was it?" He said, "Yeah, we had both of them there. Do you understand? They had both options there. They had the option to dismiss the thing and reprimand her, and they had the option to bring charges against me. Do y'all hear? Man? Sometimes I get mad at us that sometimes you don't know how to play the game in this dominant European culture. It makes me angry sometimes. Not time, all the time. I won out because I knew the game. I knew it. And the colonel proved it to me 10, 15 years later when I had to ask the question when I saw him at a dinner party. And I saw, so I never got to ask you something. I need to ask you. And the colonel told me, yeah, we had two charges there. We had the one that dismissed this case against you, but we also had the one that if you didn't come in there correct, we were gonna slam you. So I will never ever, and I retired after that, and till this day, I'm making good money off of my. I could have lost my rank, my money, everything, but I stood on principle, and that's what I tell people. You got to know how to stand on principles, and many of us don't know how to stand. So I tell that 9/11 story because it happened to me during the 9/11, and I will never forget that what happened to me in my life. So that's my story, people. I know it was long winded, but sometimes you got to get it out when you got to get it out. So the other thing, offended by, yeah, I think we are too offended by everything. I hope you saw. I could have been easily offended by how she was treating me. I maintained self control. I did not allow what she was trying to do to me. I didn't. I could have easily embarrassed by nothing. I could have been embarrassed also. The fact is that I did not allow her posture and everything to put me in a spin wheel and cause me to act a damn fool. Okay. When she told me I was relieved for my job, I wasn't embarrassed about it. I embraced it. You relieving me? I'm gone. Fine. I didn't argue with her. Fine. I'm gone. So I wish JV would have stayed up here. See, I'm telling you something. I don't think we understand. We do get easily offended by a whole lot of crap. And we get embarrassed sometimes about nothing that we should not even get embarrassed about. You need to embrace it and move on. So
Well, the idea is offended by everything, but embarrassed by nothing. Mean some of our actions as a
yeah,
people, or what gets televised, we should be more embarrassed
embarrassed
by,
by it.
so that maybe we can
We'll
say, you know
behave
what,
differently.
let me behave differently,
Right.
because the world don't need to see how we chill at home.
Right.
So,
That's what see.
anybody else want to speak up? Anybody else want to jump up here? Talk
Hey, what's
about where
going
were
on
you
there, brother
9/11?
Joe?
Hey, what's going on?
Brother Carl, brother followers, Crypto Impress, and John Y'all down at the bottom down there. How you guys doing? Everybody, the ladies doing today, this evening?
We doing good, bro.
Restoration begins with obedience.
Okay.
Where were you at for 9/11? Is
Where
he
were
not
you at for
speaking on that?
9/11, Mr. Miles? Mr.
You
Miles?
you supposed to speak to the title when you first come up.
All right.
Well, let Express go. Look like they're ready.
Okay, go ahead, Empress.
Good evening, everybody. Good evening, gentlemen. Um, I would like to first of all thank you for allowing me to speak, and I would like to let the brother who just spoke about his experience. I absolutely love that. I feel like what you had was honor. You honored the country. You honored the chain of. You honored yourself. And
Mm.
my husband and I was just having this conversation because I was in a space with Judge Joe Brown, and he said some things that really enlightened me. In a way, he was talking in code, but I caught what he was saying. And of course, people were offended. Okay, people were offended. I'm not even gonna go into what he said because it was really mind blowing. But I got it. I received it. But I just want to say, yes, we are easily offended. Yet it's really about having honor, and we need to start teaching about honor. So you know what I mean. So you'll understand honor trumps a lot. Honor is gonna trump everything. Once you have honor, nothing can stop you. It's a universal force that
Mm.
really is not discussed enough. And so we call it respect, we call it respect, yet we're not giving it the true value of what's happening, and we're missing honor. We got to get our honor back. We got to
Mm.
teach the young people, even ourselves, what does it mean to have honor? Because when you're an unhonorable person, you will never win. I don't care. You have to understand what side you're on. Either you're on the side of honor or you on the side of dishonor.
You
And
cooking, girl. You cooking. Come on.
I guarantee you, if you're on the side of dishonor, you will. A country can't nothing stand when it has no honor. And so once we get our honor and we start talking about honor, is what you did, was it honorable? Nobody can disrespect you when you know honor. And so what he described, it just hit me. And I'm just so glad that he had wife there and they had each other to support each other through those times, because sometimes you lean towards racism, they think they're gonna do this, do that. People have honor. And I'm just so, it's not about a white man, it's about, is he an honorable man? Because an honorable man don't care about no color. It's about an honor. And so you can believe the propaganda, and that's what we got to get away from, the propaganda. There's so many different agendas going on that we can lose focus and lose sight on what's really going on.
Can I put you in a pocket and go with me on some places and everything and let you come up and say that? Because you said that so eloquently, and you are
So
absolutely
passionate.
right.
Oh God, I love
Because he has honor. This black man has honor. I just tell you,
it.
we have got, and so it inspired me. It touched me. This is, I feel, wait, what, the spirit of God, the universe, like really, you touched me. You're so beautiful. And it's about honor. Honor. Once you have honor, the slavery, all that, I get it. We can't lose our honor though.
There
And
you
that's
go.
what we did when we lose. We can't
You
be
know what?
afraid to die.
That's what it
We
is
can't
about
be
you, Unc.
afraid of it when you're standing in honor.
That's what it is about you, Unc. Of all the stories and all the things you talk about within your life, the such they all are as inspiring as this. And I'm sitting here thinking that's what it is. It's because you are honorable dude.
Yeah.
You are honorable brother. That's heavyweight.
And my daddy, honorable. There are a lot of honorable black men, and we just don't work.
Yeah. I was mentored by honorable people in the military.
Honorable.
Not black, and I'm not black, not white. They were honorable. They were deserving to be. When you see men or leaders be treated with respect based on their honor, and I'm just telling you something. Until you brought that up and put the word on it, I didn't even. I have never, until just now, I have never used that word like that. But in the military, it says honor. I mean, the word honor is one of the things that is said in the military. Okay. Until you said I never, but when I think about the people that has mentored me, they were honorable men. I never looked at the color of their skin. I looked at how they operated. And so all I ever wanted to do is honor them by my own actions, okay? Honor those that had sold into me. And I didn't want, when I told you Sergeant Major Jefferson called me, okay, Sergeant Major Jefferson is one of the people who I saw him, and he was a brother, but he was one of those brothers that you didn't see the color of his skin. You saw him as a soldier and how he handled his business. He will never allow you to see him based on the color of his skin. Okay. You knew him by how he operated and what he done. I saw him stand in front of commands and everything, and people respect him not because of the color of his skin. He deserved, he commanded that respect, and it had a, and it was said like I needed, had not a goddamn thing to do with the color of his skin. None. Not at all. It had to do with he knew how to command, and I'm gonna say to you, sister, it had to do with the fact he commanded people because he was honorable. You the first time, and all the times I have spoken since I've been out the military, and all the times that I have communicated, and you know this, Joe, to be true. I have never heard someone come up in from a story of that I've told and said it. So you have touched my heart by even repeating that back to me, and I want to thank you. I mean, Empress, you are meant to. I mean, for all the things that's going on in my life right now, so many crazy stuff. I thank you for coming up and sharing sharing that. Where were you doing in 9/11?
I was in my apartment looking at Good Morning America, and Diane Sawyer was on. And breaking news: the planes have hit the World Trade Center. I couldn't believe it, but that's where I was in Atlanta, Georgia, in the
Mm,
apartment. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
wow.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna land, and I'm gonna let you gentlemen get back. But I was just so touched by you. So no,
Thank
thank you. You thank me, but I thank you. And so because look, I'm traditional with it. I listen to the men, honorable men. Okay. So I know the importance of that. And it's just been like I said, and it really started with some comments that Judge Joe Brown made that
Oh,
really got me thinking about things in a whole new way. I had a paradigm shift, and it was only a couple of days ago. And so what has been on my mind is honor. And again, my husband and I, we were just having this conversation because it just hit me so hard. Almost like what you're saying, how it hit you, it hit me. Yet when you was talking about it, here we go, right? Here we go.
yes,
And
ma'am.
um, black
She can
women.
paradigm shift and everything, man. It's like she
And
read your book.
you act like
You
you
know,
read my book. Yeah, you ain't even read my book, but you using words that's right out of my book. You don't even realize I'm an author. I wrote a
Well,
book. I wrote a
I
book,
believe you.
and my
I believe.
partner said it. I couldn't believe I heard you just say it. Words right
Yes.
out of my book.
Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Well, I mean, there's so many hidden gems, right? Just hidden diamonds in our own backyard. And but I just thank you. So I just want to share that. And maybe that's a word, because words are important. And if I can just a shameless plug here, I am a battle rapper. I don't know if you guys are into battle rap at all, because
But explain it. Explain it. I don't even know what that is.
what?
yeah, I'm a battle rapper, right? And so battle rap, it really is about the words, and I'm a
Mm.
word person, and I know that words have power. And so if you can look me on YouTube, we battle with our words, with rap.
Your information in the blue pill, please.
Okay. And but yeah, so but I'm an untraditional type battle rapper. So there's not a big buzz around me and stuff like that, because I'm not all about entertainment. I'm about entertainment. It's real.
Mm.
It's real out here, people. And so, I would love to bring like you to battle rap, and battle rap to you, because we in whatever we do, we got to have honor. We got to honor ourselves. Once you get that, I don't know, it's just so powerful to
Yes,
me.
ma'am.
And so uh you're just a fantastic man. You are a national treasure, that really that needs to be going around and talking to folk, and we need it really, because along the way I really do feel like we people have lost honor, and that's what
Ooh,
we're trying to
Lord, yeah,
message.
hey, you again. You need to. I need to find a way to put you in my pocket, and we need to go around and let you share some of these thoughts. But it's very good. Thank you for
Yes.
sharing. It's your first time here, but you are welcome to come and hang out with us anytime
Oh,
you want to. Okay.
7
yeah,
p.m. every Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 7 p.m.
for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Right.
Anybody else want to share? And I also want to tell you that Judge Joe Brown is a jewel that many of us don't even appreciate. I've been to many of his spaces, okay, and he talks in code, and I've heard you say that he does talk in code. You know why he talking in code? Now I don't want to make it about Joe Brown, but he knows that many of our people cannot accept the truth, okay. And I'm gonna pause there for a
What?
reason.
Oh my God! Look,
He knows. I've talked to him. Him and I. There's a one time that I came on his show, and I spoke to him, and I spoke to him in code, and he spoke back to me in code, and only a few people understood. And someone actually said, "Y'all were talking in code." I said, "Oh, you picked that up." He said, "When Judge Brown recognized that you was a senior non-commissioned officer, and it seemed like he changed his tone and spoke to you in a different way that he had not been speaking the whole time he had been there." And he said, "Only a few people understood that." He said, one guy said, he said, "I wanted to get in contact." He said, "Y'all were talking in code." He said, "Cause he knew you knew, but he knew that y'all couldn't say what needed to be said because none of these people were ready to."
It's so deep.
Yeah, yo, Doug, oh, he's very deep. He's very deep.
Deep.
Yeah. So I appreciate you peeped that. That shows how astute you are. That. All right, just go to the next hand there. Thank you for being here. Go ahead, Full Spirit.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you for the host, the co-host, and everything for letting me up. And for the question, where were you? I was in I think I was in 4th grade, and they evacuated the whole school, and we had to go home.
Okay.
And, it was I went home and I seen the footage and I looked at it and it looked crazy. I just didn't understand that a plane went into a building, and it was just really mind-boggling. And with the are we offended by everything, embarrassed by nothing? This is well, I'm not just exclusively clear to what it's alluding to, but you know what I'm saying, when it comes to embarrassed by nothing, the thing is when it comes to us as far as black people, white people, they obviously enslaved us and oppressed us. So if they throw us into a cage and take all of my clothes, I'm not gonna be embarrassed that I'm naked, because you know what I'm saying. I mean that has nothing to do with me, but. And then also one of the talking points that's coming around now is Charlie Kirk and how he got hit. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know if y'all want to talk about that, but as far as
you got the flow. Go ahead with where you want to go with it. Go, let you go. I'm interested since it's your first time here. I'm always open to want to hear somebody's thoughts. So go ahead. You got the flow.
Okay, yes, sir. Thank you. Well, with Charlie Kirk, the thing is, they've been trying to point the finger at liberals, and then out of thin air, they're trying to point it at us when we obviously had nothing to do with it. Charlie Kirk got hit in a white ass state, in a white ass city, in a white ass college by a white ass man. You know what I'm saying? Like we had nothing. He got hit from 200 yards away in a crowd of 3,000 white people with 2 white kids, his, and a white wife that was his. And I'm talking about one shot laid him out. I'm talking about like hitting the neck, like chunky blood. Like he had the chunky blood. He didn't have blood that just spill out like some, some red water. He had chunks of blood.
Bro, we all have seen it by now, so we get it.
Yeah, you don't have to explain it. I think we get it. We got it.
Okay. All right. Okay. So okay. Well, with that being said, he got hit and chunks of blood came out. So with that being said, we obviously had nothing to do with that. So they point the finger at us. They pointed at liberals. But
when we shoot, the blood ain't chunky. So obviously it wasn't us.
Right. So with that being said, what I'm saying is they have an enemy that they cannot pinpoint and point to. You know what I'm saying, which makes them scared as a motherfucker. So because Charlie Kirk
on this, I know you may be used to all the.
I mean, it's just back and forth with each other. We don't want to cuss at each other.
Yeah,
but I mean, every now and then.
But I just want to let you know this is a space where we don't like all that. We try to keep it clean here. We got to try to keep it clean here. But every now and then, pretty good. But we don't do the N-word.
No. I got you. I'm gonna respect space. So obviously there are some culprits that are not black people because obviously he was taken out by someone who had the brazenness, the audacity,
Yeah.
because what I've been seeing on Twitter is a lot of white people who have been sympathetic. They have been, they spew the rhetoric of like, oh, he shouldn't have been done like that. Oh, that was so wrong to do him like that. And also because we understand that we hear their sentiments, how they, saying, oh, that's wrong. Oh, he shouldn't have been done like that. But at the same time, we have to understand that someone said, no, I don't care about none of that. I don't care about them 3,000 people. I don't care about them college kids. I don't care about his kids. I don't care about his wife. I need you to do him in front of all of them people. Do him. I need you to go ahead and exterminate this guy in front of his kids, exterminate him in front of his wife, exterminate him in front of all of them people. So we have to understand that even though we aren't the culprits of someone who would, execute such a heinous and effective and successful hit like that, even though we are not the ones that pulled the trigger, it is somebody out there that has pulled the trigger. Not only pulled the trigger, but told them, like, look, I need you to do it exactly like this. I need you to carry it out exactly like this. And then you have other people on the spectrum that are, because yesterday they had a moment of silence at a Yankees game and put his face on the Jumbotron and said, remembering Charlie Kirk. That was the words on the Jumbotron. The words on the Jumbotron was remembering Charlie Kirk. And when we want to remember Charlie Kirk, it's like, well, what do we remember him for? Is we remember him for talking down on black people? Because that's all I remember him for. But at the same time, that's all that white people remember him for. But like I say, at the same time, we are not the culprits of this dastardly deed that got people out here celebrating and drinking tequila and smoking and things like that. We not the ones that pulled the trigger. It was somebody else that pulled the trigger and ultimately let it be known that it is a war against those kind of people, because Charlie Kirk was the voice box of these white supremacists, because they didn't have the audacity or the testicular fortitude to spew these same type of rhetorics. So they, looked up to him. They propped him up as their voice box, but consequently, he got hit in his voice box. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna ask you a question. And so I'm gonna ask you a question because you have put a tremendous amount of seeds into sowing this conversation. So it makes me have to ask a question of you. Okay. Now, are you ready? Here's the question I'm gonna ask you. All right.
Yes, sir.
How do you feel about what happened to him?
Yeah, see, I'm glad you asked that, because I'm not gonna sit up here and say that I'm drinking a big bottle of 1800 Reposado, and I'm saying mixing it with some cranberry juice and smoking. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that I'm out here, celebrating, because one of our society's most detrimental voices has been silenced by somebody who is on our side, but not even on our side. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that that's what I'm doing right now as we speak. But what I will say is, someone obviously has a problem with either the rhetoric that he spews or what he represents. And he also represents a lot of people, because on my timeline on Twitter, I've seen a lot of white people with blue checks. You know what I'm saying? Kid Rock, Roseanne, Donald Trump even has been, giving eulogies, so to speak. That
So do you think he's been made a martyr?
Well, Malcolm X was a martyr. You know what I'm saying? MLK was a martyr because they died for their beliefs. But when it comes to Charlie Kirk, his beliefs are, somewhat. I mean, they're biased, and also they're from a viewpoint that has no integrity. You know what I'm saying? Like you come from the stock of the
Do you
ones
know
that
the definition
enslaved.
of do you know the definition of martyr?
No, what is it?
The very thing you just said. A person that is assassinated or killed for their thinking or for their beliefs. They,
Exactly. So yeah, he got that he
I'm
got
not saying
smacked for
he's
his
your
belief.
martyr, but he's
No,
been
I
a
get
martyr to somebody. He's a
right,
martyr to these people who celebrated him. Okay,
right. Yeah,
so
so yeah, he's a martyr for them. Like Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, there was a martyr for black people, like a whole
right,
nation of people who have been aggrieved and oppressed and
right,
things like that. But as far as a martyr, he's a martyr for those who
right.
hate black people for nothing. He's a martyr for those who are white supremacists at heart, but don't have the heart in order to view and vocalize their own viewpoints by themselves. They're too cowardly in order to, get up here and say the things that they
So
want to
how old are
say.
you? How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 33.
You're 33.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna say that I like when I meet young men who can articulate their thought and their viewpoints. Part, the part of it makes me, when I see young men, that means that you got to pay attention. Obviously, I guess this is the way I went. Obviously, you have spent more time looking at the moves around you versus being more concerned about the color of people's skin. See, when you're paying attention to the moves, it helps to improve your intellect. Okay, watch. It's like playing a game of chess. If you spend time looking at the white man who's playing the game against you, you're gonna miss the moves. You're gonna miss the moves that's being played on you. Okay, you got to keep your eye on the game. Okay, you got to keep your eye on the moves and everything, because that's where you become aware, so you do not allow yourself to get tripped up and everything. So I think you are in a good place in everything. I think you in a good place in your thinking and everything. I can't wait to see where you at and everything. You actually should. I want to recommend you get my book, Unlearn. I mean, the title of my book, I'm Not Your Black America. I'm an author. I'm Not Your Black America. This whole podcast that you hear is based off of my book. The title, I Ain't Your Black, is the podcast that you're on right now. But I'm Not Your Black America. Go to my website. Unlearn to relearn. Time to unlearn to relearn. And I think you would appreciate my reading my book.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you. And along with it, yeah, I was brought up. No, I was raised by my granny. She died at like 101, in 2018. So I had like a first-hand account of the atrocities, you know what I'm saying, and the
The older
extent that.
generation.
Right, yeah. So she was here before the Civil Rights Act, when it was Jim Crow and stuff like that. So those kind of values are instilled in me to where it's like I don't get I don't get faked out by the fake sympathy and stuff like that some white liberals try to show towards us. I get that they don't really give a damn. They
Did you
saying
vote?
it.
Did you vote in the last presidential?
No. I'm a felon, but I think I could vote, but I just didn't do that because I had just got out of jail. But
Okay.
right to further point, yeah, I'm young, and at the same time, I identify with the young demographic of our community. With the things that have been propagated towards towards the masses, is that these young people are just shooting each other and shit like that and all that. But at the same time, if we instill, if we just teach them history, then I feel as though that they would find that it would be more beneficial to actually target the actual enemies of our movement. And
Right.
with this Charlie Kirk thing, what we have to understand is these Charlie Kirk sympathizers and supporters, what they want to do is they want to point the finger at liberals, at black people, which is crazy because he got hit in a white state, in a white town, at a white college by a white man, and they want to point the finger at us. which shows the desperation in their tactics in order to show that they're not bewildered, but they are bewildered because they have no idea where this came from. They have no idea who hit them. They have no idea who called and pressed the button. You know what I'm saying? They have no idea because in order to take him out the way that they did, they killed him in a crowd of 3,000 people. And out of them 3,000 people, 2 of them was his children and another was his wife. So, you know, in order to, because it's been a lot. And I was taken aback by all of the support and sympathy that was shown towards him. This filled up my timeline of people
Yeah.
being like, oh, he's in
Hey,
our prayers.
excuse
stuff
me,
like that.
brother.
Okay.
Brother for freeze. Excuse me, I ain't meant to cut you off. I want to tell you this. Did you know this? Did you know Charlie Kirk was the grassroots for Donald Trump? That's one of the big reasons he got in there because of Charlie Kirk. Did you know that?
Yeah, see, and that's the thing, you know, I read the eulogy, so to speak, that Donald Trump had left for him, calling him legendary, and and things like that. When
Blueprint. This was going on. You know, our president, his youngest son is Byron, right?
uh,
The crypto brothers market pulled him right on in, and
uh,
Charlie Kirks and them. That's who pulled them right on in. That younger generation. From right now, if you look at Robin Hood, I don't know. I'm gonna have to be real with you. Look at Robin Hood. I don't know what's been going on the last 4 years. Our younger generation from 25 to 45, they've been asleep. You guys are saying you woke, but
yeah.
Robin Hood right now, it's been created more millionaires than anything from the age 25 to 35. Look up, look up what I'm telling you. So what's going on and you need to talk to somebody and find out where to put your money at.
Matter of fact, Mr. Miles, I'm actually glad that you brought that up because I got a Robinhood account as well. And that's something, you know, Mr. Miles, you're really being a very valuable. Do you know what Robinhood is? Do you know what what Robinhood is, young man?
Yeah, it's an investment now.
Yeah, are you participating in it?
No, I tried, but I what I'm saying, I didn't never got to it. But yeah,
Yeah.
just tell me later.
Yeah. Well, make contact with Mr. Miles. I'm gonna let Mr. Miles. Mr. Miles. I'm gonna have. I saw your hands up in there. Thanks for coming up and sharing, man.
Yeah, that's what I want to share because a lot of these young people they don't know, Mr. Fowles. They don't know. That's what's going on, and you're gonna have to follow along and get this money, brother. Don't even worry about Kurt and all that mess.
Yeah. Don't
get this money.
Don't get sidebar with that. You're absolutely right, Mr. Miles. Too many of us getting sidebar, and I want what I like.
That's the noise, ain't it?
That's the noise. We
fall
for the noise.
In here, he bounced, but yeah.
Yeah. Fall for the noise. Don't get caught.
You know how many people became a millionaire last year in the United States? Do y'all know? About 600,000
from crypto.
No, not just off of crypto. I'm just talking about how many people became a millionaire last year.
Hey, you trying to come up crypto? Yeah. You sound like you sound like you're in the weeds.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know at all. I'm trying to. I mean, as far as investing, I mean, for me, just looking from the outside looking in, I think I'd invest in like Walmart or Apple or
whatever you buy. You got an Apple phone?
Something you know.
Yep.
Yeah, investing something but
what you buying.
Yeah,
and educate yourself on
crypto.
what crop you invest yourself in.
Yeah, crypto. It seems like before you get started, crypto. Yeah, thanks for coming in and everything. Go ahead and speak to the title and everything. Where were you? 9/11.
Oh, thanks. I can share briefly on that. Was in the Army, and also I was in the United States Navy. So I'm a soldier and a sailor
Thanks for your
2 times
service.
over. So I have pretty much half the branches of covered in that aspect. But I spent most of my time in the Navy. I was a petty officer, second class air traffic controlman. So
Okay.
I'll say this. Speaking of that, I was in an air traffic control tower in Southern Maryland when when the planes hit the towers. I was
Wow.
training in the control tower on ground to be certified. It was my training on that position. I just got qualified on the flight data position. There's 4 positions in the tower. It's the local control, it's the ground control, the tower, and the clearance delivery / flight data control. So I was on ground that day, and I was plugged in with my monitor, and a whole bunch of people came rushing up the stairs. We had to cease training, and all the certified controllers were still plugged in, and they had to zoom the position. And basically, the call came from the Pentagon to put every plane in the sky on the ground immediately. And if
Wow.
anybody was that was on position, had to basically, it was like a fire drill, basically an aviation fire drill, and it
Wow.
was basically anybody that was near our airspace and talking to our controllers had to be circled around and put on our tarmac. So we had to find
Wow.
space for them. First, we had to recover our jets that we had training, because all of our jets early morning training session. We launch them. We have a launch in the morning. So all of the F-18s, the F-14s, the trainer, the test pilot school planes was out and about. The C-130s was airborne. Pretty much everybody was in the training and warning areas, just doing their military missions and stuff like that. Because we had test pilot school also down in Southern Maryland, Duck River. So I'm like, oh shit, this is not good. And then I didn't know what was really going on until I went downstairs from the tower, and then I saw it on TV, and I saw the remnants of the first plane hit. And then they were saying, and then under the title it said "America Under Attack." I remember that vividly. I was like, "What the fuck is going on here?" And then so you got a big bold letters "America Under Attack," and you see nothing but billows of smoke coming out of the 90-story freaking South Tower. And I'm like, "Oh my God!" And then next thing you know, moments later, on live video, I
You saw the
see the
second plane. I
incoming.
did too. Yeah.
I saw the second plane hit, and I was like, "Oh, this is some serious shit right here." And I was like, "This," and then they was telling people there were other planes that was a threat. That's when we found out about the one in the Pentagon that was
Pentagon.
headed
Yeah.
for them, and that's when we found out the one that was intended for the White House, because that one
Right.
was circling around in central Pennsylvania. We had communications with at least other aircraft that they suspected that was going to be used as kamikaze missiles. So we had to again alert our fighters to get in communications with all of those airplanes to make sure they can get on the ground, or else be
They
blasted
will be
out of the
taken
sky.
down. They're gonna be died. They're gonna be taken
Right.
out.
And
Yeah.
it was a couple of close calls where our military fighters, if we wasn't able to get a hold of, there are other ways of getting hold of pilots that has lost comm. They have lost comm communications. So if they can't get a hold of them, then that was it. They was finished. But fortunately, we were able to get a hold of every single one of them within our airspace to get them on the ground, because we had a bunch of, because it was panic time.
Oh,
Pretty much
absolutely. Absolutely.
everybody
Absolutely.
was panicking, and it's like this is like the biggest aviation
Big deal.
catastrophe
It
in
was a
history.
big
It's a big
deal.
deal. So we was like, oh man, we about to witness more planes get shot out of the sky, or intentionally hit a target that was intended for. You know, Fortunately, those were the only 4, and there was no more. That was a kamikaze
And
pilot,
isn't that
and
amazing?
that's where I was at.
Yeah, yeah. Isn't that amazing that the plane that potentially was trying to go to those people sacrificed that you know those people
Yeah, they
they
apprehended the
they
pilot and
apprehended
took
and
control, and they
took them
said,
down. Yeah, they
and
took
took it
them
down to
down.
say they
Yeah,
had no idea that that was what they knew that it was just a hijack, a plane under distress.
right,
They themselves didn't know that that was the plane that was intended for the White House,
right. They didn't know that.
and they
Right, they did not know that.
yeah
Yeah,
they didn't know that they never knew that, but the one had already hit the Pentagon
right,
because
right.
the pilots obviously knew because they was talking to Washington and New York Center and have coordination with Cleveland Center. So they was like, oh man, we got to get these planes down. And if you look at a map of the entire airspace, the U.S. airspace, and you see nothing but dots, glowing dot, all the planes that represented the aircraft, the targets that represent the aircraft on the screen, and you
That
do
got
a
to be
time lapse,
wild to see that. I mean,
you see over 3,000 plus planes airborne at the time, and then within an hour on a time lapse, you see nothing but a blank airspace. So they all of them to get safely on the ground, and that amount of time on the ground safely without a lapse in freaking safety. That right there is a testament alone. You know
of the
what
of the of the of the
of
ability
the
of our
coordination
airspace and
ability of
coordination of our yeah.
air traffic control and the pilots alike to get those planes on the ground. We're talking about fully loaded 747s, fully loaded cargo planes. We're talking about trainer pilots that's up there training and doing their thing, and everybody alike to get them on the ground in short order. On an emergency situation like that, is just to me.
You're
I can
never
live
gonna
that
forget.
moment. I'll
You're never
never
gonna
forget the
forget that, are
moment
you?
that day. Man, I was literally stuck in the control in my facility. We came in at 5:30 that morning. The admiral shut down our base at that time for obviously for security reasons. Our relief didn't get there till 7:30 at night. So I had a
Right.
14-hour shift just like that created by 9/11.
Wow.
I was
You're
supposed to
never
get
gonna
off at
forget it, are you?
3. Yeah, I was supposed to get off around 2, 3 o'clock.
Right, right, right.
Right. And then I didn't because they didn't let him on base. The admiral didn't open the
Yeah,
base
right.
back up.
Exactly, exactly, exactly.
So he once he gave the orders to open the base, and then our relief was waiting, to come on. So they just kind of kept them out there, waiting for the clearance to get to come in and
Right,
relieve all
right.
the people that was already on that
A lot of
morning.
people don't know the military coordinates and all the things that we go through in the military. Yeah, it's all, I love hearing the military ops on different things, man. A lot of
Of what
people
was
don't.
going on at that time, the massive coordination that had to go on. That I mean, you talking, man, airspace sectors, everything had cleared. I mean, it was wild. It was mayhem that day. I ain't gonna lie. It was hectic, you know. And I was like, man, my first day training on my next position to get certified is bam.
Did
This
you
day
did
happens.
did you finish
Yeah.
getting certified? Did you get all your certification and
Yeah, I
everything?
finished. Yeah, I have finished because I went to the other control tower that's just south and got fully certified there. But yeah, I finished the certification on the position I was on. Yeah, I was done. I got done like later on that fall, like a few weeks later is when I finished because that was
Hey,
day one. That was day one on that position. So I finished that position like right before Thanksgiving, somewhere around
uh,
there.
hey, speak to the rest of it. What of the title? Are
I'll
we offended by everything
I'll
or embarrassed by nothing? Well, what's your
I'll kind
takes on
of
that?
go along for what Poor Frenzy was saying, kind of agree with what he was saying about the embarrassment part, about being offended by everything, whether it's real offendedness or pretend offendedness. Um, in that aspect, we have the capacity, not only as blacks, but just as a human race, to be selective with our offendedness or outrage. So
Hmm.
in that aspect, when he was speaking specifically on the Charlie Kirk on the selective outrage there. when simultaneously a school shooting happened in Colorado, and nobody lowered flags for the people that was harmed by those atrocities and things like that. So we do tend to have our selective ability and capacities to
Right.
decide on what we want to martyr or honor, or versus keep them on, keep it on the same level. In that aspect, for Frenzy was correct. In that aspect, because a human life is a human life, in that aspect. Nobody
Right.
wants to be having babies that's praying literally in the church and then have them mowed down by. There's no saying that, okay, we're gonna lower the flag, have staff for or put them on the jumbotron of a sporting event and say, let's bow our heads and have a moment of silence for the two innocent children that was praying in a Catholic school that had their lives taken.
Right.
Their lives not as important as it too. So
Right.
then that's what a selective this come at. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to that, when you have a major sporting event decide to selectively do that and not honor children being slaughtered in an actual church, for crying out loud, or those black women that were slaughtered by that white supremacist in South Carolina when he went and mowed 9 black women that was in church down.
Right.
So
And nobody shows
the,
them no honor, right?
no, you realize the New York Yankees didn't lower the flag. You put them on the jumbotron. You know what I'm saying? Those 9 women. That in that same aspect, So he was correct when he pointed that selective outrage when it comes to that, and being embarrassed by nothing. I would say that portion of the statement. I would say the society grew to not being embarrassed because we're desensitized by so much to that a video of an assassination really doesn't do anything for the discourse of making things better. So in that sense, we are embarrassed by nothing. So even if you can not even have a video taken down of a literal assassination in broad daylight, that's the desensitization of this country, that we're not embarrassed by nothing. So in that aspect, yeah, that is a true statement. When it comes to that, because we have grown so numb to a lot of atrocities that's being done to the innocent. So yes, we are definitely offended by everything and embarrassed by nothing when it comes to that aspect of being desensitized and selectively outraged on a particular individual. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate your coming up and sharing with us and everything. Anybody else want to share? What about you, Carl? Can you? Are you in here, Carl?
Yeah, I think he was having problems.
Oh, his thing. Okay.
Yeah, I think he was having problems earlier, and he hadn't fixed them, I believe.
What about
I
Uncle
appreciate
Rokas?
the space.
Hey, no
I
problem.
appreciate you inviting me. Good topic. Definitely 9/11, very memorable day. So, especially down there in Southern Maryland. So I'll definitely appreciate the
well, I'm about to ask a question here, just out of curiosity. Do you think the Charlie Kirk kind of incident has divided our country, that brought a shadow or cloud over 9/11? Were we not as unified about this as if this hadn't happened? Do you think that the event that took place yesterday overshadowed 9/11 for today?
It did. Yes, it did.
Yeah, it did.
Because I didn't even see on the TV screen. Maybe I was on a different channel. Normally, they do the live replay.
Yeah.
They've been doing live replay for the last 20 plus years.
Yeah. I didn't see none of that today.
I ain't seen none of it today.
I didn't see any of that today. Yeah, right.
Yeah, they'll do the live replay as it happened. They'll say events as it happened on that day. You know, at 8:53, the first plane hit.
Yeah, yeah.
Then
I
at
didn't see.
9:10, yeah, I didn't see that today. Yeah.
Yes, wasn't the only one. I was wondering anybody else. I didn't see anything like that today.
On 9/11, or even
Not
going to the out there in the Pennsylvania, because they'll have like a ceremony of the
right.
one that went down in Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
So
So
yeah,
yeah,
I
so
didn't even see it. So it did overshadow it. To your question,
yeah.
it did.
Most definitely. It was. It took. I think it divided. I mean, it divided the country because I was on the space
Wow.
early. I was on the space earlier today, and that was the topic of conversation, not 9/11. 9/11 was not the topic. Okay, the
Right.
topic of
A lot of people
conversation.
forgot it was 9/11. They're like, oh damn, it's 9/11 today.
Yeah.
And it was a tragedy in my own family 12 years ago. My nephew lost his life on this day 12 years ago.
Oh wow!
Yep.
Because of the
So
9/11 or for something else?
no, it was 12 years ago. It was 2013.
Oh yeah. Okay. 12. Okay. Good. Okay.
Yeah, he lost his life 2013. But the same day though, 9/11.
But the same day. Wow.
So that was my oldest son. So
Mm.
that's like personal 9/11, you know.
Yeah. Right.
That's our own personal 9/11, you know. Losing her oldest son.
Yeah, they already got Charlie Kirk funeral gonna be Sunday. They already got it up and ready.
Been seeing
Sunday,
some stuff
that is
about
a quick
it.
turn. Normally it takes like a week or two before they get everything going. But that's a quick turnaround.
No, it's gonna be Sunday at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, when you got
Sunday.
your life insurance,
It's normally done. That's true. You're right. Life
get that
insurance,
check
you can
in
get
3
it done.
days.
That's correct. You're right. That's a good
Yeah,
point.
when you take care of your business
your
right,
life
you're right.
insurance,
You gotta
yeah.
be astute. You're right. You telling the right. I ain't your black. That's the truth. How it go.
Yeah.
You might need a policy. Just send me a message. It's all good.
Shameless
Shameless
insurance. Oh.
Hey,
Hey,
what's
true. I
up,
was talking
man?
about
You need
getting.
one,
I was
just
talking about
give me
getting
one.
another one. I was thinking about getting another one, adding another one. I was talking.
Where you can benefit from living,
Hey,
where you gain interest.
all right. All right. Let's don't talk. Listen, I was a life insurance guy too. Let's don't talk about insurance because we're gonna get into because I was a by term. I was a Primerica agent. Okay, so you can't talk life insurance and definitely don't stay whole life with me. All right, I am not that guy. Don't.
You're not the IUL. You don't do the
Yeah,
IUL.
no. I'm a buy term
Hey,
and invest.
he said it all when he said Primerica.
When I said America,
that tells you everything.
that should have told you everything you needed to know. All right, so
Ironically enough, some people do make money off insurance, but it's like it's almost got to be your own company. And I only know that because like there's this dude I watch on YouTube, and him and his wife are set because his father was in insurance, but he had his own whole thing, his whole operation. Like they get the money, they just don't let it get to like the agents and whatnot.
Well, hold up here. Yeah, you're gonna have to speak to us, man. You ain't seen. I think I knew you. We have been on Spaces somewhere. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. See, the thing is, people will be a stranger, or I will have not been around people in a long time just because, like, I was always like, before Israel started the war, I was like the only black Jew. And so since the war, I'm either getting kicked out of Spaces, can't talk, or I get shouted
that's
about
where
that.
it was. I saw you be attacked. That's why I knew that name. I seen some people attack you, calling yourself a black Jew and everything, and people gave you business. So just you defined as that, man. That's why I looked at you and I said, I know this dude. Okay, yeah.
Right. So I just try not to. I try not to get people riled up because I love my black people talking about topics that we need to talk about, and so I know. Like certain people will just lock onto that, and then the whole space
I know.
is
Yeah,
not about
and I was in a space with somebody. So speak to the title, man. What were you at 9/11, man?
That's what I came in here for. It was a funny story, right? So to start off, I was living with my gay cousin and his boyfriend at the time, right? So,
okay.
Right. I was at Northern Illinois University, and like I was up there because I had got elected in like student actually it was the NAACP. I got elected the vice president of the NAACP chapter up there. But I was struggling with housing. So I moved in with my cousin for a little bit, and I'm sleeping on his couch, him and his boyfriend, right? So I go out partying, drinking with my friends the night before, and for some reason, like we dressed up. Like it was like a fancy something. I don't know why we were dressed up, but anyway, I was drunk the night before and I fell asleep in the suit, right? I woke up on 9/11 late for my music class, which was at the junior college down the way. So I literally kept the clothes on that I had, this wrinkled suit now. And then I rush out the door. I go to my music class, and my music class was 8 to 9. And then 9/11 happened like around like 9 a.m. or something, New York time. So it was probably happening when I got out of class, but I was on my way home. So I go home, wrinkled suit and all. And for some reason, drunk, I answered all the music questions. Like it was the best day in class. So I get home, and my cousin's boyfriend, he goes, "Have you watched the news?" I'm like, "No." He was like, "Boy, the Twin Towers is gone. We is going to war. The Twin Towers is gone." And I'm just like, what is this dude talking about? Because I'm like, he was the feminine in the relationship. So I'm thinking like this dude, I'm like, this dude is exaggerating. This he don't know what he's talking about. Right? So I'm like, whatever, B. So I take a shower, I change, I go walking up in the dorm where all the sisters are, right? That was like this big dorm with Stevenson, it's where all the black frats hung at, where the girls was, where my friends was and stuff. So I walk up in there and it's like a ghost town. And I'm like, oh shit, I think this nigga wasn't lying. And then I went upstairs to be with my friends and shit. And I'm like, hey, what's going on? And then that's when I saw the Twin Towers going down. It was like that. Crazy. But I had seen like a replay of it. So that was my funny story, bro. Like I just remember being like hungover in music class in a suit, and that's always been hilarious to me.
That is funny. That is funny. Hey, so what about this the other portion of the title? What do you think about the rest of it there?
Man, I'm kind of in the middle. I know that's not the most exciting take, man, but it takes a lot to offend me because like you see, I get a lot, right? So I'm almost embarrassed by nothing, but there are a couple things that still, like, I don't want to say embarrass me. I really have a bad way about that. I'm not super embarrassable, but offended, yeah. So like what that shit Charlie Kirk was saying, bro, like that shit is super offensive. I don't like none of this in 1488 bullshit. None of these motherfuckers talking this per capita shit or this IQ shit. And maybe it shouldn't get under my skin the way it does, but I grew up in a racist town and I fought my way to respect, bro. So I got it both ways. I got these words and I got these hands. So that's just kind of how I grew up. So that's what really, boils my potato, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, Isaiah, hey brother,
that boils my potato line is hilarious.
Yeah, I know. That's a ball my potato. Yeah,
I got that from The Simpsons, bro. It was the episode where they were trying to teach the kids how they met each other, and so they took them back to the 80s and shit. They had Cyndi Lauper playing, but they made New York look like the 1950s, and they was hanging clothes on the line, and they was like old Irish people was everywhere, and so I forgot what it was. And Homer walked past this old Irish lady, and she was like, "Oh, that's so and so. He really boils my potato." I just remembered that shit, bro.
Yeah, I heard you say it. And I like, all right, where that's coming from? There's a ball in my potato. That I ain't heard that one before. What you was gonna say, Mr. Miles?
I was saying he grew up in New York. That's what he's saying.
No, it was an episode of The Simpsons. No, I'm from Chicago, bro.
Oh, Chicago. That's where you grew up at?
Yeah.
You say you fought the system of racism in Chicago. That's what you're saying?
Well, yeah. So basically, when we say Chicago, it's just like Chicagoans would say you were in the suburbs first and then you moved to the city. So just to be correct about it, I was born on the east side of the city. And then we moved to the suburbs, and then we moved back to the south side when I was 17. It was during the time that I was in the suburbs that I had to fight every day.
What year was this?
Oh, shit. You're talking about 1987, 88, 89, around that.
Yeah, okay. That's around the time I was up in Michigan. The same time I moved to Michigan in Detroit in 85.
Michigan, to me, whatever racism is in Michigan, that's the safe version. You grew up back when it was like that was the for real Michigan. Like, was the Klan
Yeah.
still there then?
No, I told him I grew up in Detroit, and that was in '85.
Oh, but what
That's
I'm saying
what
is for a while, the
carjacking,
Klan.
hard black on black crime. Carjacking, our cars used to get stolen all the time. When I moved from there, from Jersey, I was born in Jersey in '77. So I grew up from '77 to '85. But then the rest of my time, I grew up in South Carolina. So that's what you was talking about, racism and stuff, and was hard. During 9/11, I was down in South Carolina working for Christianas. That's a beer company. And that's what I'm talking about. I came through hard racism. Well, I used to stand up at work around all the white people on Martin Luther King and light a candle and saying, "We shall overcome." And all the Greeks and the white people used to come around the table and sit there and laugh at me. So I don't know. I came up
Bruh.
hard. I came up when my parents had went through a separation. I went to South Carolina. I had a white boy, and I was in middle school. Had a white boy hit me in the back, pushed me in the back, and the reason I had to fight him, he pushed me back and called me the N word. The reason I fought him is because he put his hands on me, but I didn't have no more problems. I had to go down there. That was like the early '90s. I would say that was about 1990 because my mother passed in '93. So yeah, that was in '90. So I went down. That's what I'm talking about. You went through South Carolina.
Bro,
The
I can
rural
imagine,
areas,
bro.
hard racism. That's what stuff I
See, now,
came
I'm not
through.
gonna say it was that Carolina stuff. Like, and I'm not even gonna take much time to explain it. So the way the racism worked, because I was like in kindergarten, first grade, second grade, third grade, fourth grade, it was cool. Third grade, they made me go to another school just because district and stuff. So basically, what would happen is the kids didn't know why they were technically being racist to me. It was just shit they picked up from their parents. Like I had to go home and ask my mom what a nigga was because I didn't know. She didn't use the word. Right? So she told me, she was like, don't worry about it. Just the next time they do it, just hit them. And you got my permission. So I'm like, okay. Right? So the way it would happen is we would be at school, and then every day at recess, either I would try to play, and then they would play all the sports and wouldn't let me play the sports or whatnot, and I have to walk off, or I would just walk off and do my own thing. And then eventually they would find me, like almost every recess. And they would surround me, and it would be like nigger, black word, this, that. And then I learned how to fight more than one person. Like I didn't learn how to box technically until way later, right? Because I had to fight multiple people. So it was always about haymaker. It was like jab, haymaker, push this person away, and then turn to the next person, and then try to do the same thing. And then we used to do this every recess. And I remember I got to the point where I used to hunt them niggas, like, because I knew they would be coming for me. And I'm like, before they come after me, I'm going to pick one out, and I'm just going to go at it, right? So I went to the kids that would let me play soccer, and it was this little Italian kid, Gio, and I don't know what the fuck he said or how he said it, but I just went, bam, and knocked his tooth out, right? And so they put me in the office for that one. And then another guy, I got him, like I walked him down, like I saw him playing, and every time he turned around, I acted I was doing something else. And then I got closer, and then he looked, I act like I was doing something else. I got that boy, put him in a chokehold, and it took 8 of them to get me from unchoking him. Like they was just like, get off him, let him go, let him go. After that, I didn't have any problems. So I started hunting them.
Yeah, I first started fighting. I had to start fighting in Detroit. That's when I first started fighting gangs by myself, and I broke my hand. Yeah, that's when I first started fighting, way before South Carolina, Detroit.
Yeah, bro.
Black on black.
Nah, all my shit was white boys, bro. Like I fought my friend, my black friend though. He tried some damn karate kick and fell over, bro. I just was like, let's just make
I
up.
didn't have to fight the white people until I moved to South Carolina. That's when I had a problem with the white people in South Carolina. But in Detroit, it was black on black. I had to fight so people would leave me alone. My parents made me fight. So
Oh
I
yeah,
didn't
my
want to
cousin
fight.
did that shit on the south side. I was a big kid. My cousin took me to meet his friends and was like, I bet you my cousin can beat you in a fight.
My parents brought the head gang man to the house and brought me outside and made me fight him outside in the backyard. It was just my mother, my dad. My mother had the shotgun. My dad had the baseball bat, and we had a German Shepherd in the backyard. And my dad said, either he gonna beat your ass, Ryan, or you gonna beat his ass, but you gonna fight right now.
That's a father, though. That's the father for you, bro. I'm sorry, we was having like a back and forth between us, bro. I'm sorry. Let's open this back up, though.
All right, all right, all right. Yeah, my bad. I fell asleep for a second. It's been a long day. Been a long day.
Yeah. It's been a long day for me too, man. And I do want to announce something to all of y'all, man. I'm feeling pretty. And I'll say something to you all, so you're gonna hear something. I find it, uh, Joe, in my new book. I didn't even know that I was gonna get it today. Okay, and with all the events that's going on, I'm gonna always read my second book. I received it on 9/11 after the assassination of Ali. And the title of my book is "I Am Messiah." And my book may not mean anything to you all right now, but I'm, Joe and Miles and Carl, who has my book, my first book. You are gonna enjoy this second book because it's speaking to. I already knew it, but to have it and read the first chapter. I mean, I been already knew an events is. I mean, I'm kind of a little emotional. It's almost like I knew this shit was about to happen, man. I mean, if you went to you three who already got my book, okay, and I'm gonna be sending your book signed tomorrow. Your hard copy came to me today, Mr. Miles. So I will be signing your copy and putting it in the mail and sending it back to you tomorrow.
Thank you, Mr. Mishan. Uncovering the Original Mind, Chapter 1. That's what I was reading. Your second book now.
Uh, uh, well, how you no. You're not reading my second book. That's not my book. You talking about American Black book? That's not my book.
No, I am Messiah. Your Chapter 1, uncovering the original mind. And you got a
Okay,
quote in the front, Reverend Moon,
right.
son. Yes, that's what I'm reading right now. Your It's a sample. It's the
Yeah. Oh,
sample.
yeah. Okay. Great. So, uh, when you all crack that book open, you're gonna say, "How in the hell did Uncle Mishon knew what he was writing about in the time that we in right now?" Each and every one of us need to be our own Messiah in the times that we are in today. Okay, and that's where I'm at right now, man. Uh, I'm a little overwhelmed with all the craziness that's going on, and I am confident, okay, that the only changes that's going to come about is going to come about by individual responsibility and accountability for who you are in your relationship with God. Period. In conversation, in a story. Okay, anything that's going to happen good for you in this United States of America, in this world, is going to have to start with you and your relationship with God. Anything else, you are listening to noise that doesn't mean you no good. And I mean that to you all who's listening to this. I mean it from the deepest of my deepest uh deepness right now, because we are living in some times that if you are paying attention to the noise, you're gonna get distracted. And it's really talking to you men, culturally, our men right now. Our men has been under a major attack ever since your seeding been born here in the United States of America under this color construct. Uh, we have work to do, this specifically our demographics of men. And one of the things that we need to not do is not lose our humanity. Do not lose our humanity and not get captured in what other people have done to us, that you got to play into revenge, and you have this spirit of I'm going to get you back, and you cannot have forgiveness in your heart. That's not the type of God we're serving. And you got to gonna have to protect your own ideology and your own thinking, and how you serving your creator, and how you want to be, and how you want to treat other people, and how you want other people to treat you. So yeah, I'm kind of moved right now. Once I buy a book and I open it up, and even though I wrote it, it was amazing. I'm like, why God did I get my book on this day? After, I mean, do y'all realize there's nothing that happened under the sun and is coincidentally? Who believe that? There's no coincidentally nothing. Everything happens for a reason. Do y'all believe that? I mean, do y'all really really understand that there is no coincidence? Okay, there is no coincidence. The problem is are you paying attention? Are you in it? Are you just lying it? Are you just existing? Okay, and you're not paying attention. We got to pay attention to what's going on. So I'm going to go ahead and, Joe, unless you have any dive thing or y'all need, I'm a
Can I
cut
say
this
something
off.
real quick? That
Sure, you sure can. But I want to call you. We're gonna wrap this thing up and everything. And I want to just let each and every one of you know we're gonna be next week, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I want each and every one of you who are listening to the sound of my voice to, take care of yourself. Understand, be careful about the kings that you have in your life. Okay, I'm doing a biblical thing. Abel lost his life paying attention to Cain, not realizing the Cain didn't mean him no good. Be careful about the kings you have around you. Okay, be careful. Go ahead, bro.
well, yeah, just something I was inspired to say based off you going into your book. So, me being, well, I hate saying being a Jew because it's always like I'm just trying to really preface it so people understand where I'm coming from, right? But that's why I'm saying it. So you have a title called "I Am Messiah," and you were talking, and the first thing I thought about was like, yeah, he gets some pushback for such a title. First of all, in Chicago, we have this thing the Catholics do at midnight on Christmas called "Do It Yourself Messiah," and what it is it's like basically instead of a traditional. My mom was Catholic. Instead of a traditional Catholic mass where the father does all the stuff at midnight on the do it yourself
You better
Messiah.
help her.
It's basically just a sing along, and they just sing all the hymns. I mean, if you're a Christian, it's a beautiful thing to look at on Christmas Eve night. It's called "Do It Yourself Messiah" in Chicago. All it is just Christian hymns, or basically Catholic versions of that, right? So that's the first thing. Then the second thing I was thinking is Christians who give you a pushback. I'm not telling you to use the Old Testament because you have the right to use whatever you want to. But there was specifically a time where Moses or Moshe basically asked God to bring an energy to the camp. And I forget why this was, but it was just he was weary, he was tired, and he was with some of the elders, and I think maybe even God decided to do this while he was with the elders. And so this whole thing came over the elders he was with, and they started doing things that was just like Moshe or Moses. And so Moses wasn't tripping, but Joshua was watching the whole thing. And then Joshua started seeing people in the camp that wasn't the elders. Some of them started acting like Moses. They were so moved with whatever energy God was putting on the people that they started acting like Moses. So you got to remember in the story, they never acted like Moses. That's why they always need to go back to the brother to ask him what to do. So anyway, Joshua see this and he go to Moshe, hey bro, they over there acting like you. They acting like they got the same power as God and God as you have. And Moshe looked at Joshua and said, good. We need as many of them as we can have. This is the whole point of this story. It's like you don't have to be the person, but if God touches you and raises you above common man, just humbly accept it. And so that's why I like that title of your book.
Yeah, well, you got so, but I will preface this and say you're not prepared to read my second book until you have read actually my first book. I'm saying that to everyone. I will not jump to go read my second book until you actually read my first book. So it will help you to be able to be astute of why the title of my book and what's in I Am Messiah. You
Are
will
you on
not.
Amazon?
You just go to my website, unlearn, time to unlearn to relearn, time to unlearn to relearn.com.
Hey,
Time.
brother, I followed you. If you could DM me that, bro, like it'll help me remember, bro. Like if you could do me that.
Yeah. You're sending, yeah, I just send you a direct. Send you a, I'm gonna send it to you directly. I'm already following you. You know, you and I already follow you one another.
Yeah, no, I follow everybody else, and I forgot we were already mutuals, but I tapped on your face because I want you to finish up your point, but I wanted to make sure I had some way to get that information. Because like all the black authors, I pretty much support when I can. Like I don't always have the extra income all the time, but I support when I can. I brought at least one other black author on Spaces I met, which is ironic because she ended up blocking me, but I know why. Anyway, so I'll support.
Oh, yeah, that's funny. You say wind up blocking you, huh? Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah,
Hey,
after I paid for the book though too.
that is funny. But yeah, I'm DMing you now. So if it is anybody else who wants to come up and say anything as we gonna close this thing out, and as I said, that I want each and every one of you to watch yourself. You know, be careful. Be careful with the kings that you have in your life. Okay, you know, and I won't go into it all, but you know, God revealed that to me long time ago, is that Abel was naive of his brother, envy and jealous of him, and so sometimes you got people who are envy and jealous of your favor. You got you may have favor in your life, but you got people around you who are envy of your favor. And so you got to be careful of what their motives are. And had Abel been wise to his brother, he would not have been killed. Yeah, do you hear me?
Bro, can you give me one tip? One, just one. One for the Canes. Just one tip for the Canes in your life.
What do you mean? One tip?
I was just trying to basically maybe I should just buy your books, man. But I was just thinking if you had a quick lesson that you could tell us, like you said, look out for this person, but you know, maybe I should phrase it different. When you got people like that in your life, what's the number one thing you do? What's the first thing you do when you realize you have a cane?
Oh, when you realize that you have a king. Now, here's the thing: when you realize you have a king in your life, you must confront it for what it is. You cannot have people who are kings in your life. You know, when I mean kings in your life, kings mean people that means you no good. Okay. But you cannot just leave them and go without addressing it. You must let them be aware that you recognize them for who they are. Okay. See, what gets people in trouble is that sometimes they recognize people and mean them no good, but they don't confront it because people don't like confrontation. You got to confront people who don't mean you no good. Because, and I need you to understand that first, answer the question, why must you confront when you recognize a king in your life that means you no good? Why must you confront them and let them know you see them? Why must you do that? I want to hear someone tell me, explain to me, why is that such an important thing?
And that is the cliffhanger for the show. By Tuesday, you better have an answer. Absolutely. That's the cliffhanger right there. That is the cliffhanger right there. Folks, this has been another episode of I Ain't Your Black, the podcast based off of the book called I'm Not Your Black, America. Now, I always say this when you read that title, it's there's two important things. One of them is the comma, and the other one is the word your. I'm not your black, America. And America is governed by the dominant majority. So again, it's just a little tip to help you even understand the title. Because boy, oh boy, get into some spaces. Yeah, what you mean you ain't black? Oh man, yeah, I don't get it. But it's all good. It's all good. We're gonna go ahead and come back Tuesday. Again, we're here Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, 7 p.m. You can also check us out. YouTube shows always being broadcasted there. YouTube, Facebook, I Ain't Your Black show. And again, that's been a wrap. Time to unlearn to relearn.com. Time to unlearn to relearn.com. We'll see y'all Tuesday. Peace.
Get ready for I Ain't Your Black. This is the podcast that offers healing, insights, and epiphanies, discussing and reviewing everything others are afraid to talk about. It's all about what is right for us. I ain't your new black. I ain't your old black. I ain't your future black. America, I ain't your black. And now, the host of I Ain't Your Black, Mr. Just As Joe and Uncle Mejor. We got a big fight.
Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? So much so that you don't want to be around each other.
When black people wake up and become intellectually independent enough
Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to? So much so that you don't want to be around each other.
when black people wake up and become intellectually independent enough